So next we move to the Banks Peninsula Conservation Trust and Mark Christensen. Mark, good to see you this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Mayor, and good morning, councillors. But for one issue on the submission, the Conservation Trust is seeking to retain the funding that is in the annual plan already. And we're in a time, obviously, of crisis nationally and locally. And so why are we wanting this money to continue that that's set out in the annual plan? Essentially, there's three reasons. The first reason is that I submit that the Christchurch needs a vision and we need hope. And we believe that the work that's going on the Banks Peninsula and on the Port Hills can provide some of this hope, can provide some of the legacy projects, and you as councillors can be part of providing a legacy for our children and our children's children. Secondly, there's a large body of evidence that that contact with a wide range of natural environments can provide multiple benefits, socially, economically, and health and well-being terms. So these are things around reductions in stress and anxiety, increasing positive mood, self-esteem and resilience, all these sort of things that we need in times of crisis. So we believe we've made a considerable head start in all of these things on the Banks Peninsula, and we really want to continue those things. Thirdly, that we will emerge from this COVID-19 crisis in due course, but our climate crisis, our climate change crisis and our biodiversity crises will continue. So those are the three reasons why I think essentially we're seeking for you to retain the funding that you have in the annual plan already for the work that we undertake. There's one additional matter that we'd seek, and that relates to a project which the council was part of, and that is the Pest-Free Banks Peninsula initiative. So this is a multi-agency. There are 14 members. The council is one of a signed arrangement, and we've recently been asked by Predator Free 2050 Limited, the government agency, to submit a detailed proposal for the next 5 years to really rev this up with some additional money that the government has allocated to Predator Free 2050 just after this crisis. Essentially what we're doing is we've got a $10 million project over 5 years, and that's in its advanced stage of planning and financial analysis. We're essentially there. We've got $8 million in the bag. The government will match funding 1-to-1 for this, so we're over that 5-year period. We're essentially short of a $2 million amount of money. So we're seeking from the council a $200,000 annual additional contribution towards that initiative, which would then be matched by the government. That would see us through the $10 million. And so the invitation really is to the council, if you'd wish to join us and the regional council and the other members in this legacy project, which can be, as I say, going towards resilience and well-being of the entire community. So that's the additional thing that I wanted to bring before you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mark? Pauline.
So is Environment Canterbury already putting in, or are you suggesting that we partner with Environment Canterbury and share the $1 million contribution?
No, the Environment Canterbury is already contributing, so that the $8 million secured includes the Environment Canterbury's contribution mainly through a regional rating arrangement that they have. It's about $600,000 a year.
So are they contributing through the biodiversity fund as well?
Well, yes, they are, but it's also primarily through that regional rate, which was just raised last year for the first time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Melanie.
Would any of the funding go towards predator-free? The Banks Peninsula, the Port Hills is what I'm meaning.
Yes, there's three priorities. The first is an extension of what we call the wild side from 13,500 hectares to 20,000. That's in the southeastern bays behind Akaroa and would include the Akaroa township. The second is the Kaitariti Spit, which has some very interesting biodiversity, but also it's very defendable from a pest management perspective. The third priority is the Port Hills, and particularly the southern part of the Port Hills, south of Dyers Pass. So we have a project which we are working on, which haven't yet released publicly, which is called Te Kakahu Kahukura, and that is a project on the southern Port Hills between Dyers Pass and Gebbies Pass, right down to the harbour, including Quail Line, and down to the plains, to restore 1,000 hectares of podocarp, tōtara, maitai and kikatea forest, but to also have the 6,000 hectares of individual private properties contributing to that. Pest control is a major part of restoring that biodiversity, and so long answer to your question, but it's one of the priorities is to support landowners' pest control in that area with this part of this project.
Great.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks very much indeed for the submission this morning and for your answers to questions as well. Thanks very much for joining us. Thank you.